Why do we drink alcohol? Why did you drink? Why do you drink? Why did I drink? Those are all the questions I'm going to ask during this episode. My name's Josh, and I'm coming to you from Live Life to the Fullest. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened when I quit drinking and how I was able to question alcohol and the relationship with alcohol and what it did in my life and the part that it played. And so, number one, most people seem to drink for socializing. It helps calm people's nerves down, right? Why did you drink? Do we feel like going to the pub, going to the brewery or the winery or any of these places make you feel like you're part of a community and you kind of use alcohol just as a lubricant to socialize? I found that that was pretty true in my life. That wasn't the main reason I used it, but I did find value in the more inebriated I got, the more comfortable I felt, you know? And so I started to question that as I got sober and thought, do I really need to feel that, or would I rather feel what it feels like to have an authentic conversation with somebody and have alcohol not be a thing? So let's try that. A lot of people use alcohol to relax. I found that wasn't the main reason I used alcohol, but it was certainly one of them. I would just kind of use it as an escape and kind of just use it to relax. And do you feel that same way? Do you feel like, when you get home from work, it's something that you can use to relax, to calm your nerves? Maybe something bad happened in at work that day for you, and you use it to kind of, just relax your mind. And so I did that quite often. I would like kind of ruminate about something that might have happened, and the alcohol would kind of start to numb those feelings to a point where I just didn't even care or worry about it anymore. But as I got sober, same thing. I would question that. Is this really helping me relax? Because I found that as I was coping with things without alcohol, I found that alcohol actually made things worse. When I would come out of those binge sessions, I would wake up the next day with more anxiety than I had the day before. And I'd be ruminating about the very thing that I was drinking, trying to drink away. And so that just goes into number three, which is coping. A lot of people use alcohol to cope. I know I did. So where do you fit into the coping part of drinking? Do you find yourself drinking to just deal with life? Is it something that just comes natural to you? I started drinking when I was 15 years old, so when I found alcohol and I got my first buzz, I was just like, ah, now I don't have to worry about life, you know? I can just I can just drink and this will be my numbing agent, and I couldn't get enough. And of course I was under 21, so it was hard to find people to buy alcohol or get alcohol, but I found a way. And of course I didn't need as much back then too. But my tolerance was lower, but as my drinking went on, the tolerance went up, and I needed more and more to feel the same way. And that I started to recognize that as I got sober, and I started to realize that, man, I don't need one or two, because the one or two usually turn into three and four and five and six, and I don't want to drink like that anymore. So do you find that in your life? I mean, do you find that one is never enough? I found that, 10 is too many, and I found that out the hard way oftentimes, especially if I'd mix drinks and mix with different alcohols, different liquor and beer and wine. If I mix those all together, it didn't feel good. So another reason why I find people drink is to rebel, especially when you're younger. Do you drink to rebel? Is this something that I, as a youngster, I would drink and say, forget the authority, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like I felt good to be rebellious. And even as I got older in marriage and stuff like that, I'd just be like, forget it. I'll just go drink. You have an argument with your spouse or something, or one of your children, or whatever, and you go and you drink and you just kind of drink at them. It's kind of a rebellion thing, kind of like, well, you can do what you want, but I have my remedy over here. And I would just kind of try to drink that away and wash that away, but came back with a vengeance every time. And so, drowning out sorrow, that'd be another one. Do you find that you drink to numb the sadness? I mean, I know I did. I felt there was a word I used for it, melancholy, and I kind of discovered that word. I knew it when I was younger, when I was drinking, but when I was in therapy, when I was engaged, I started to use that term a lot because I felt like I had a black cloud around me, and I was always kind of sad, melancholy. And so, how about you? Does alcohol help you numb that? I found that it came back with a vengeance again, and it just kept that cloud hovering over me. But since I was a binge drinker, I knew what sobriety felt like because there was days that I would not drink, and typically every other day I would drink in my 20s and some of my 30s. It turned into more or less every night in my mid to late 30s, early 40s. But I would just drink to numb that pain and that sorrow. And as I got sober, I started to question, do I really want to drink that to cure that? Is that really going to help me? And the answer was no. But some people just drink to get drunk. Some people drink for the enjoyment of it. Some people drink as it's part of their ritual. And so for people that are just drinking for fun, to have fun, maybe it's not a problem for them. But when you start to question your drinking, that's really when the change starts happening. And that's what I found, and that's what I still find to this day, 4.5 years sober almost, and I can't imagine a life where I was a drinker again because it just doesn't feel like it's worth it anymore. I don't find any value in alcohol. When I watch people drink, I kind of, I'm not judgmental or anything like that, but it's nothing to me. Alcohol is not something I need to cope or to celebrate or to do any of these things. We live in such a ritualistic society where our society and people living in it push alcohol as a way to celebrate and have a good time, toasting with champagne. And that's just the world we live in. I mean, people have kids' birthday parties at breweries these days, and I just kind of look at that and I just whatever. I shake my head. But it's not something that's necessary to me anymore. And if people are questioning their drinking, which I was, I find that making these videos can kind of help people and kind of shine a light on what it is that helped me get sober, which was putting alcohol in its place, finding other things to do. And when I'd have those urges, I would reach out to my sober community, my wife, my friends, whoever I felt I could be vulnerable with. I'd get that feedback, and each time I would get through that craving and I'd be stronger for the next one, and so on. And so, wherever you are in your journey, I pray for you. I hope the best, and I hope that you get the answers that you're seeking. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.